COVID as a grand accelerator of trends. It broke human habit long enough to allow for the formation of new habits. New York was the capital of the 20th century world. Before New York, London was the capital of the world. Before London, it was Amsterdam. New York emerged as the capital of the world post-World War II, post that cataclysmic event. Well, we had COVID, and COVID broke habits to allow us to adapt life around the internet. Now, this is especially exciting now because we're at a fascinating juncture in our nation where the financial polarities are reshaping before our eyes. And on that note, it is no accident that INMAN is having their first Miami event here now in 2024. I was told that many of you have come from elsewhere, so for those of you that got on the plane, welcome to Miami. And wait, next time I say that, I should have the Will Smith song playing. But all kidding aside, this is a very fascinating time in our nation's history. So why is this such a fascinating time? There are periods in history that are characterized by rapid change, where the world after does not equal the world before. And one thing that I've learned from publishing what I would call rather simplistic charts the last 10 years is that most people are not good at grasping how strong momentum cycles are or grasping trends and patterns as they form. 10 years is a rounding error. Who knows, right? It's a little bit of time. When it comes to our lives, 10 years is very, very important. So while we can't be super precise, we can recognize the trend and the flow of money, I think, pretty accurately. And we can align ourselves and our businesses with this flow before everybody else catches on to what's happening. It shows that people are in these southern areas, these new polarities, with the desire to create and live, not just move and retire. That was the big shift that happened. All right. So where do we see the effects of this wealth and talent migration in our talent migration? And is this all sustainable? So there are 3 points that I would like for us to internalize. One, that change is inevitable and that history never goes backwards. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, including the mainstream press, and it's normal, it's a human condition. We think that the present is sacrosanct, but it is not. Many of our realities have been 20th century constructs that are getting replaced. 2, that it is early days and that momentum cycles are very, very real. And then 3, all of this ties into the concept of long America and that the positive aspect of capitalism always winning. So to this point, think of COVID as a grand accelerator of trends. It broke human habit long enough to allow for the formation of new habits. Questions asked, you can distill down to the real meat of what you're talking about. And that's the approach I'm going to take. And then also to set the stage for how I think. I studied replace taxpayers with migrants who are taking from the state. So this obviously, I mean, which side of the equation would you rather be on, right? Similarly, California, I mean, there's so much, it's hard to even pick which story to take from California, but this one here is talking about how they in fact do not audit how much they spend on homeless people. They stopped. They have billions and billions that they're spending, and they actually do not keep track of it at all. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say that how much of this is graft, how much of this is going towards, who knows? It's basically a blank check to politicians and their friends, and unfortunately the homeless situation there is not actually improving, so it's not benefiting anybody. Now, I've been talking a lot lately to the press and talks about a concept called Long Miami, where I've been saying that the shift is early days and that we all need to align and accept it, et cetera, et cetera. I was in a panel about a week ago and David Martin, the CEO of Terra Group, asked me, what is Long Miami? And it occurred to me that Long Miami is actually Long America. And as somebody on the panel before me said, I heard backstage, capitalism always wins. And this is something that I very much want to say, this is before even the macroeconomic points, this is the human element before all of that. We have to accept this change as a positive and recognize that no place stays the capital forever, and that the desire to create and innovate always flows towards the places of least resistance. And that's what's happening in our nation now as the world shifts. So